But right, Rashford has returned to training, but not in how we think.
Yeah, this was a story yesterday coming from The Athletic. It was quite an interesting one because, like Flex mentioned, I think everyone's kind of assumed that after being given the option to not come back, then those 5 players, Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, Malacia, Anthony, all wouldn't come back to training this week. But actually, according to Mark Critchley from The Athletic, Marcus Rashford did indeed report back for Manchester United training on Monday and Tuesday, despite being given extra time away to find a new club. Now, Rashford trained on an individual basis at Carrington and did not take part in team training with the rest of Ruben Amorim's squad. Of course, he doesn't have a squad number. He doesn't have a place in the squad either in terms of the preparations training. I would assume that it looks very likely that he's not going to go on the preseason tour of the US or be featured in the squad for the game in Sweden because they were basically told to stay away, stay away and find yourself a new club. Now, whenever stuff like this happens, Flex, a lot of people will say, there's motive behind the actions. Is Rashford, is Team Rashford trying to send a message by going back and saying that they've gone back? Is it almost the physical embodiment of what he was doing, say, on Instagram before he left on loan at the end? When he was constantly in the crowd going, "Great performance, guys! Well done, guys!" This sort of thing of, look, I'm ready to play whatever needed. I'm a team player. I'll come back. I'll come back in, and I'm there at Carrington every day. Some of the guys that have asked to leave, I didn't ask to leave. I was told to leave, and I'm coming back. And if you need me, I'm still here. Is it more of that? Or is it just a non-story of, oh no, he just that's where he's been for years. He goes back to Carrington every pre-season.
I think it's that this part of it is normal. I mean, he could choose to stay away and not train alone, but he has to in within the club because it makes it more apparent that the first team's over there and you're on that training pitch by yourself. But I'll be honest, it's not. I'm not angered by this or nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And Man United said, and rightly so, players will have access to training facilities or whatever they need and coaching and whatever. That's their duty. They're duty bound. They have a legally binding contract that Marcus Rashford is still a Man United player. And like I was talking about in the All or Nothing documentary, there's only a certain amount of exile you can do. Saying you're not allowed to come into Carrington, maybe there's got to be a higher threshold of just past is new, wants to go in a different direction. Yeah, it would need to be you're suspended from playing or some serious shit. But it's not that. This is all football related. So you have to stick to the contract. So no problem. I don't. What Rashford does in his, I say spare time, it's tight. It's the off season. He needs to keep himself fit. He's looking for a move. He's a professional athlete. Professional athlete trains. News? No, it's not. So the fact that it's back at Man United, it doesn't change anything. He's not with the first team squad, and it's as you were. I don't. And you know what? I don't think they should, but they can't anyway because legally they can't. But they shouldn't banish him like that anyway. I don't get that.
Like you said,
academy graduate. He's been at the club for ages. It's gone sour. Do your training alone with the coaches. That's what you do, and then get your move.
Like you said, I don't think from a legal perspective, and like you said, unless he's suspended or something like that, then you will be not allowed to come into it'd be like having an employee basically being like, right, unless there is a legal reason for why you can't be in the office, basically, i.e. you don't work there anymore, you're on gardening leave, or like you said, you're being suspended or whatever, then you're an employee. You're allowed to come into the office. That's part of the job, right? So, like you said, I don't think there's not a reason why he can't. Like I said, nothing really changes. If anything, it's just more sort of solidified, isn't it? Of just he's come in. If there was any chance of integration, he'd have been involved in the earliest of early preseason training with the rest of the squad. He's not. He doesn't even have a squad number. So in that regard, nothing really changes.
Taking it all out his bio, hasn't he? Even his Man United, he's got no header on the Twitter thing. He just says England international footballer. It doesn't say Man United or anything.
But I think the thing of saying that, he's got to stay fit and he's got to, he's got to stay fit for a move, and What else is he supposed to do? I mean, this guy's a multi-millionaire elite athlete. There are a million different facilities private facilities or places he could go around the world. So it's not like,
of course.
well, is he only going to Carrington? You know what I mean? It's not like he's only going to Carrington because that's the only place he's got access to. That is very naive to think that is the case, isn't it? Of going, well, it's just there because the world-class facilities that Manchester United have. You go, well, I don't know about that.
They haven't changed since 2001.
I don't know about that. It might just be a case of this is his routine. It's around the corner from where he lives, kind of thing as well. Actually, it's like moving gyms, isn't it? I will just stick to the one around the corner. Maybe it's not as good as the one that's like 5-10 miles away, but it's the one I can get to in 5 minutes. So I'll go to that one, kind of thing.
And also, he might not he might not even do this every day. He might just do a couple of days there. Then he might fly out to bloody Spain again and do some in the hot weather training, or Dubai or whatever. Like, maybe not Dubai, is really, really hot there, but like just whatever. Like, it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's just what happens. I'm
surprised it took to Tuesday to come out. I mean, I would, if Rashford had been back at Carrington, I thought the moment he was spotted there on Monday, they'd be like, it's press, look who's here, look who's this and that. And
maybe he didn't.
If anything, it does sort of say to how much nothing has changed in that regard. Maybe how calm people are about at United. In that, has Rashford been around? Yeah, he's been around. He's not been involved in training. He's there, and there's not been any issues. It's just, as it were, nothing cares. Nothing's really changed in that regard, maybe. I suppose on one hand, it is a story because they were all told they could stay away and he decided not to. On the other hand, it's a non-story because, like you said, the situation or circumstance still hasn't changed all that much. So
it hasn't changed. Obviously sometimes, I know people can say, so what's we talk about it? The news is the news. That's what we're saying. We're saying that the fact that this was reported by, was it Mark Critchley?
Mark Critchley from The Athletic.
Yeah, from The Athletic. So obviously The Athletic running it. We are sort of saying, The Athletic have run that, but it's like, it's kind of significant because he was told to stay, that you have the option to stay away. So his option is, I'll train by myself in Carrington. So that's the only bit of news, is that, newsflash, out of the 5 players, Marcus Rashford is the only one who's actually come in to continue his work. That's the statement. And it's not a revelation. I think it's more of just information. So when you're a reporter, your job is to kind of, it's going to rain today, or this happened, or I have to tell you this. Like, it's a factual thing that just happened. It's
imagine that with weather forecasters, whatever. If people reacted the same way that they do to Manchester United news to weather forecasters, every time it rained, they'd be told you're lying because they don't like that. They don't like that part of it. You know what I mean?
Spin, that's PR.
Oh, unfortunately, it's not going to be a white Christmas this year. Spin, spin, spin. Bollocks. I'll believe it when I see it. Christmas Day. Well, there's no snow again. That one was true. Yeah, shit. I've
never had a white Christmas in my life.